1015 FM KDWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Filled with wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, Merry Christmas. Very happy to have you with us here on the Mark Hoke Show. Hope you're tuning in wherever you are. We certainly do appreciate it. I'm Mark Hoke, and it is Christmas Day, and we are here live, believe it or not. We didn't bail out like everybody else did and play some crappy best of. We're on the air, and we got the whole gang today, too, at some point or another. First, Andrew Fish Fain, everybody. What's up, Fish?
You know, suggesting that a best of would be crappy would suggest that the show would be crappy. So I would disagree with that notion. I would just say that we were just brilliant enough to be here live to make sure we want to. That's our Christmas gift to you. And the other thing I want to say is, bah humbug.
Stop it. You can't bah humbug.
I can, because Vandergrift's still running.
Why do you have to be a heel? Why can't you just be happy for a day?
Because being a heel is easy.
I know. We've also, of course, Joe DeFalco is going to be joining us the second hour.
He is? Oh, I'm so excited now. See, now I'm happy.
Yeah, so Joe will be calling in, of course, from future stars of wrestling. But, of course, from LasVegasWrestlingScene.com, Brian Ronovich is here. Brian, thanks for coming in, buddy. How about it?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you here.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah. See, you know, we get to actually live say Merry Christmas. People probably think we're nuts, but that's okay.
We are.
But that's okay. You know, how was Christmas morning in the household, fellas?
Everyone was asleep.
Same, yeah.
Wow.
Quick.
I got raided by the child. She's 14, and I still got. Actually, I woke her up first this year. I think the tide turned on that. I did wake her up because she's along with us today in the KDWN studios. So,
woohoo!
Yeah. I kind of fooled her today too. I did a good job. On the Christmas presents. See, you know, you kind of get past the time of, you know, you open the boxes and, oh, here's the big box and blah, blah, blah. Now, once they get into teenage years, it's time to screw with their heads. Would you agree?
It's always time to screw with their heads. I don't have to wait till I'm be a teenager for it.
So my daughter wakes up to see a ton of bags of candy and a wallet with a ribbon on it. And that was it. Nothing. But, of course, inside the wallet were like 8 or 9 gift cards. So she scored pretty big. But
I was hoping for cash.
But she was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cash.
Well, there's a story. There was a story behind it, but she got a wallet with a lot of gift cards.
It's almost like money in the bank, but it's, you know, a wad in the wallet.
A wad in the wallet.
Gift cards are nice, though. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
See, what you should have done is you should have hung it from the ceiling and wrestled her to see if you can climb on a chair to grab it. Whoever grabbed it got it.
No, I'm not wrestling on Christmas Day.
Then you could have the wad in the wallet.
No, not doing that. Spinning ceiling fan, though, would be interesting. But, you know.
Yeah.
The spinning ceiling fan,
what I'm
wad in the wallet
That's
match.
what I'm challenging Vandergrift to, is a wad in the wallet match.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Well, of course, we're bringing you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show. And, you know, we're going to go through what happened this week, and then we'll also discuss, you know, the year in wrestling. And it was certainly a wild year, to say the least. So as we go through our 2 hours, we'll mention some of the interesting things that took place this year.
I do have 5 contenders for match of the year, too. So
okay. I have a few, too. It'll be an interesting discussion. I'm looking forward to talking about those.
And yes, before everyone jumps on me, there are some AEW matches involved in there. It's not just all WWE, because I know I'm a WWE mark.
Yeah. You know, can't you just appreciate AEW for what it is?
I just said there are matches in there from AEW. What more do you want?
Yeah, just admit it. It's fun. It's fun.
It is like AAA baseball. Absolutely.
Wow, that's harsh. Well, let's start off with what's going on in WWE. And we're actually, we don't have a day one pay-per-view like we did last year.
Well, last year's didn't quite turn out the way they wanted it either.
The COVID monster popped up.
Well, no, it's funny because the day one pay-per-view last year changed the entire course of the WWE year.
It did. That was insane. And it was kind of a bad decision, I thought, but whatever. Of course, last year Roman Reigns got COVID right before the pay-per-view was supposed to start, which completely changed the entire landscape of the heavyweight and Universal Championships.
It gave Lesnar the belt, correct?
Yeah.
Which therefore then gave Reigns a chance to unify the belts.
And
that's where we stand.
Poor Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, he got hosed.
He got hosed. But, we don't have that pay-per-view, but we have a very interesting SmackDown coming up. Of course, Raw is going to be taped, so they're doing kind of a greatest hits on Raw this week.
Yes.
But SmackDown has gotten even more fun as we get ready to head into it. And Sami Zayn did it again.
Yes, he did.
Sami cut a promo with the Bloodline in the ring of just how much he wants to absolutely destroy John Cena, destroy Kevin Owens. He's tired of Kevin Owens in his life, and just jumped in front of the Bloodline. There's a great CBSSports.com. I don't know if you guys have seen their coverage, but I'll tell you what, they got another great screenshot with Roman and I believe Jimmy staring at Sami while he's screaming at the television screen. Just beautiful picture. But Sami, another great promo as we get ready for Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn against John Cena and Kevin Owens. And I'm really getting excited about this, guys. I really am. What do you think? Are you ready for this one?
I just want to know if you think this is the match where either Zayn turns on the Bloodline or vice versa.
Yes.
You think it happens at this event? You don't think it happens at the Royal Rumble?
No, I think because from what I've heard, they're setting up Kevin and
right, they're setting up Kevin and Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. So
maybe they won't be. Maybe they'll hold it off. Brian, what do you think? We're going to see the turn here, or are we going to wait?
I would say there might be a tease of some kind. There could be an accidental. Sami does something to Roman, cause him to get pinned, or some situation like that. I would be really surprised because since everybody's waiting for it, I don't think I think I could see him throwing the team together and then being like, oh, here's your first tease. And then, you'll have something again. Because they always make it look like they're going to split. Then they brought them back together more. And now I kind of see you think everything's good. And then boom, here it comes. I think it'll be completely unexpected.
Yeah, because right now everything seems very oozy.
Yeah, exactly. But did you guys, but seriously, did you guys ever think that Sami Zayn would elevate the way he did this past year when he first started getting involved with the Bloodline? Were you guys negative towards it, like, oh, this is ridiculous, or were you positive towards it?
At first, I was negative towards it because I hated the whole character before that when he was wearing the little army cap.
Stuff.
Yeah, the whole Che Guevara stuff. I thought, okay, come on, Sammy's better than this. Mm-hmm. And then I thought when he first joined the Bloodline, this is what that's going to be like, just an extension of that. And the more he's done it, the more I realized that, to me, he's one of the top 3 wrestlers of the year right now.
Right.
No question, just because of the job that he's done.
Yeah, I would agree. Sami has done a phenomenal job with this. I mean, from what I understand, this was only supposed to last a couple of weeks. This was only supposed to be about a 3 or 4 week thing. Set up Kevin Owens, and off they went. But Sami did such a great job with this, and he and Kevin have been doing this for a long, long time together.
And I know we've joked about this, and they joke about it on the air all the time. But the moment that was the greatest moment of all was when he used that Usi line and he cracked Roman and Jimmy Uso up. And you could see, or Jay, sorry, I think it was Jay that was laughing. Either way, I think all of them were, but that was like the pinnacle. You're like, all right, this is it. This is not going anywhere, and this is going to last a while, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, and now being Usi is starting to become part of the culture.
Exactly.
It's It's pretty funny, but
and who would have thought that Sami Zayn at the beginning of 2022 would have even been in the same mention as a possibility of taking the belt from Roman? But now it's mentioned as like a realistic possibility, which I think is amazing and a credit to what he's done this year.
Because I believe at the beginning of 2022 there was a discussion, both him and Kevin Owens' contracts I think were both up, and they were like, okay, is one of them going to leave or both of them going to leave? Kevin Owens resigned, and everyone was like, what's going on with Sami? It wasn't as big a deal. Now Sami's, like I said, like an MVP for the WWE.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they've really kept WWE going for the most part here in the last half of 2022, so big credit to those guys. We've also got a couple more matches coming up on this card. A pretty good match with the gauntlet match with the ladies on SmackDown. I thought Xylee did a nice job, but Raquel Rodriguez is going to be taking on Ronda Rousey, and Raquel's performing well. So.
Yeah, they've positioned her to be a monster face.
Yeah,
and they've done a fantastic job of that. And that gauntlet match was just more of it. And you could see by the reaction of when Shayna Baszler came down, it wasn't just Michael Cole who was all over it. Even Wade Barrett, who's supposed to be the heel announcer, was like, "This is ridiculous. How can you be?" And they have positioned Raquel Rodriguez to if not win now, she will win at some point.
Yeah, so we've got that match coming up. We've also got Sheamus and Solo Sikoa. Wow. That is going to be some pain, blues, and agony in that match, wouldn't you say, Brian?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Solo's a great striker. Sheamus, we already know what he can do. Anytime he gets into a match where he can just stand in the middle and trade with somebody, it always ends up being fantastic to watch.
Yeah, Sheamus was another guy that seemed like he was dead in the water.
Yeah,
and what a comeback for him, too.
I was going to say, look at what the Bloodline has done for not just themselves, but for other wrestlers in the periphery, whether it be Sheamus or the Brawling Brutes, who people thought were an absolute joke, who have now positioned themselves to be a strong tag team. And as we said, Sami Zayn, and now it brings Kevin Owens in. It gives a reason for John Cena to come back. It's all because of the work of the Bloodline.
Yeah, and if you didn't see SmackDown, by the way, a great retrospective on John Cena was on there. By the way, a Vincent Kennedy McMahon video was in that too. Don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I was kind of surprised. But just a great, a well put together piece, just chronicling John Cena's career and kind of reminding you about what he meant to WWE from start to finish. And, you know, he'll be doing a match for the 20th straight year. And that's on next week's SmackDown.
And that's the biggest difference between AEW and WWE. AEW is about the wrestling. WWE is about the spectacle and the entertainment, and no one puts together a video package quite like the WWE.
Yeah, but you know, when we come back, we're going to take our first break, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because there was an interesting hire. We really didn't get to talk about it last week, but a very interesting hire for AEW that could it possibly change the production landscape?
Jeff Jarrett?
No, it is not Double J. Sorry to say it. But we will be back with more on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 101.5 FM 720 AM. Wish everybody once again a very Merry Christmas. Hope you're having a great time today with your friends, family, whoever you want to spend it with. We'll be back with more pro wrestling news right after this. When it comes to having the right attorney in your corner, you want to have a proven winner on your side, and Russell Dutch Boyd of VegasCounsel.com knows how to win in Las Vegas. Boyd graduated at 18 years old from law school and is also a 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. And no matter what legal challenges you're facing, Boyd will help you through it all. As a litigation attorney, he covers multiple areas of law, including personal injury, business law and startup, cyber law, and crypto clients, and whatever else you might need to navigate the legal waters of Las Vegas and beyond. Just visit VegasCounsel.com to set up your free initial consultation today. That's VegasCounsel.com and let Dutch Boyd help you win today. Once again, that's Russell Boyd at VegasCounsel.com. Podbean.com.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, the Christmas extravaganza.
To quote The Godfather, ho, ho, ho.
That's all you got?
Yeah, it was the best I had.
Brian?
I
may have you moving in soon.
I don't know. I'm not Mr. Christmas either. I kind of just play it when my wife was obsessed with it. We've been decorated since before Halloween. So
what?
Yeah, legitimately.
Wait,
decorated.
Hold on. I'm not letting that slide.
Oh yeah,
because I'm one of those
don't
people
act like I was doing it.
I'm one of those people that you can't put up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving.
No.
You're telling me before Halloween?
Before Halloween. Yeah, she doesn't do Halloween. She doesn't care for Halloween. So we were decorated, and then gradually more and more and more and more up until now. She just bought another tree 2 days ago.
What?
Yep.
Sweet mother of God.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. And the funny thing is, my mom was the same way. So now I have, my mom's the same.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm used to it. It doesn't. But it makes her happy, so it's fine with me.
Well, happy wife, happy life.
As long as the New Day doesn't appear when you open one of the boxes.
Yeah. As long as that. I can't have that. I don't want that to happen.
No, we do not want that to happen. I'm Mark Hoke. We've got, of course, Andrew Fain and Brian Ronovich from LasVegasWrestlingScene.com. And if you want to see what's going on in the Las Vegas wrestling community, highly recommend going to that site. It's pretty darned good.
Thank you very much. And download the mobile app, available on Android and iOS.
See, there you go. You're getting into the plug thing and all that. It's
nice. I'm listening.
Yeah, good job. Yeah. By the way, you mentioned Big E. I might as well throw this out real quick.
I never mentioned Big E.
Well, you mentioned the New Day.
Yeah,
sorry, we mentioned
he's not a member of the New Day. Because remember, according to Vince, that you can only have a named tag team.
He's
and
not.
Be something different.
That's done, and you know it. But,
go ahead.
But Big E, we got an injury update from Big E, of course, the former WWE heavyweight champion. I have to get some more scans at the 1 year mark in March. We'll see how everything is looking. We'll see from there. My C1 is broken in 2 spots, so I'll have to obviously be very smart about that. I was very fortunate. I want to make sure I'm making the best decision for myself. But he says he feels great. No nerve issues, no strength issues. No impairment whatsoever. Just wants to make sure his C1 is rock solid. I do too. I hate when my C1's not rock solid.
Oh, good Lord.
No? Merry Christmas. But it sounds like Big E's coming along okay. Are you guys excited for Big E to come back, or are you doing okay without Big E?
I love the Big E character. I don't necessarily need him as a wrestler to further storylines, but he's a great guy. He's awesome backstage, and he's an amazing character on screen.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, that sums up my feelings too. I mean, he's definitely improved over the years as a in-ring talent, but I think the character outweighs everything else.
Agreed.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's funny because all three of them, Xavier Woods and Kofi, have all gotten so much better because of each other.
Definitely.
But I think Xavier and Kofi have definitely surpassed Big E as far as in-ring skill.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I would put Kofi ahead of Big E, but Xavier?
And it's funny because Xavier was always at the bottom of those three for me, and Xavier has impressed me more and more as it's gone on.
All right.
And Xavier and Kofi as a team are fantastic.
Yeah.
And by the way, they did an amazing job on that Miracle and 34th Street match this week. If you didn't see it, of course, it's the
that was my joke about New Day being in the box.
Yeah,
because
right.
Wade Barrett did the best job with that though, because he waited until he kicked each of the guys in Imperium in the crotch to say that they were not soldiers, they were nutcrackers.
Yes, that was a pretty funny spot. I actually enjoyed the Miracle on 34th Street match this year for once.
Yeah, usually it's
because
so
normally
bad.
It's a disaster.
I could have done without the mistletoe and the ring announcer kissing Ricochet and having him all of a sudden just blast off because of it.
That puts you in the Christmas spirit. I actually was okay with that. I don't know why, because normally that kind of stuff makes me cringe, but
Yeah, me too.
Maybe I was in a.
I did like the spot of
Christmassy
Ricochet flying off of Strowman's shoulders, though.
Yeah, Flippy Flopper and Braun are getting along okay. They seem to be gelling as a unit. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I don't think they're going to be becoming a tag team anytime soon. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that Braun made those comments and now he's teaming with Ricochet. It happens.
They got to have something for Braun to do.
Yeah. Well, keep him busy.
That's why you have to really break down anything you see from them on social media, because a lot of times it's a lead into something and you're not even picking up on it. You know, it looks like a nothing comment, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. Oh, okay.
I do want to get your opinion on this real quick before you get into the AEW hire, Mark. Brian, do you think that Triple H is bringing back too many guys?
Yes, I think he's trying to prove that everybody, like, you can't have a 100% success rate.
Right.
And I feel like he's bringing people back just to kind of like, oh, these are all my people, or to, maybe he made some sort of commitment to them and beforehand, and when they got fired, he felt obligated to give them another chance. But I think he's brought back way too many people. And if he wanted to bring back this many people, he certainly could have stretched it out further. It's not something, I didn't think you needed to bring them all back in a month. That's what it felt like.
And I know it's supposed to be the giving and happy time of year, but which people do you think should not have come back? And I didn't ask you this, Mark, either. Who was re-signed that you thought shouldn't have been brought back?
That, to be honest, that's kind of a long list.
Because everyone that comes back, you're like genuinely happy to see for a moment. You go, oh, look who's back. And then it's like, why are they back? Like Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, obviously, I think both should have come back. Neither one probably should have been released in the first place, considering their positions in the company.
Yeah.
But, did we really need Tegan Nox to come back?
Yeah, I wasn't a big Dakota Kai either. I thought that was strange. EO made sense to me. I thought Karrion Kross made sense also. But those were the ones to me that were the obvious, like the ones you mentioned, Karrion Kross, of course. But I think he's bringing back a lot of guys that maybe Vince didn't believe in that he did.
Like Hit Row?
Yes. Without Strickland, it doesn't really make, or I forgot what his, Shane Strickland is what I remember.
Scott.
Thank you. Sorry, gosh, completely lost. Without him, it doesn't really, that really isn't the same without him. And so, I agree. I think he's brought back too many.
Yeah, Bronson Reed just came back this week.
And I think that was the reason why I brought that up is because I thought Bronson Reed coming back was a great bring back, but I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle because there's so many guys that he brought back.
I think that they did. Yeah, I agree. I think the one thing is that they've brought too many in too quickly. And, AEW had that habit of, hey, we got this guy, we'll bring him in. But they have just poured it on. It's like someone is dumping out a giant bucket of NXT cast-offs on WWE, and it's kind of
Joe made a really good point when I was on last time a couple weeks ago. He's like, you can bring all these guys back, but you got to cut other people. And that's what we're not really seeing is where's the move. It's like everybody's just being jammed into it, and we're not seeing, a handful of releases here or anything like that.
It's
Mandy Rose was the only one. I think that's been any kind of
and that was unexpected.
But. Yeah, where are you cutting? Because
but doesn't WWE almost have to bring these guys in all at once? And I say that because if you don't, if you really want to bring them back, you run the risk of losing them to AEW if you don't bring them back in.
Well, you could have brought some of them back into NXT. You didn't have to pull everybody up to the main roster right away. I mean, I know you've got some people down there you're developing, but I think part of their charm was that they were a top star in NXT and had established themselves there. And you could have brought Bronson Reed back into NXT. You could have brought Tegan Nox back into NXT and gone from there. But I just, I'm watching Hit Row, and I'm kind of like,
I get your point, but I think part of it is also Triple H is going, look at AEW. FTR was one of my teams. They're probably the best tag team going in the country right now, and we lost them because of Vince. So, and same thing with Jon Moxley. Even though he wasn't an NXT guy, they lost Jon Moxley because of Vince's attitude. He's like, I can't afford to lose anybody that may turn into the next Moxley or FTR.
Yeah, I'm just saying you didn't have to dump them all on the main rosters right
now. No, I agree.
There were some there that still needed to be in NXT.
We don't need to see Apollo Crews.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I mean, AEW clearly hasn't won with every person they've gotten from WWE. I think that's pretty obvious. Like, in a way, it's almost like if I'm Triple H, I'd be like, well, go ahead and go. Go do all these great things you think you're going to do with AEW, and then you'll be back. Like I think I'd be a lot less worried about it at this point. Obviously, super prospects like FTR, that's a different story. But some of these, let them go because AEW isn't winning with everybody they're getting.
Yeah, I mean, look at Andrade.
That wasn't exactly. That's who exactly was in my mind. I mean, Danielson's obviously a superstar. I mean, he could wrestle anywhere, and he's going to be the guy. So those guys are obvious. But some of them that, fans thought they were going to turn into these huge stars are either leave or get discouraged from being over there and end up coming back to WWE. So it's,
I still think that they missed and they should not have let Malachi Black go. And I think Miro was totally mishandled in WWE.
Yeah.
Both those guys could have been absolute monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you brought that up. Well, we can talk about the AEW hire in a little bit because we kind of went a different direction here. But there was Miro was in the news here over the week where they were talking about how he turned down a storyline to come back, and he's just kind of sitting around waiting for them to figure out what to do with him. And then, of course, his wife, CJ Perry, or known as Lana, chimed in and said, well, everybody ends up back in WWE, which I'm sure is not helping Miro in the locker room at all. But there was also another story that came out that a lot of the WWE guys that are going to AEW are reluctant to take losses. They don't want a job to anybody, but you can't run a wrestling organization like that. I mean, if nobody jobs, you don't get anywhere.
Yeah, you can't. So you have to have a winner and a loser. You can't. Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
So you have a very interesting dynamic going on there with some of these guys that are not kind of playing ball here. But don't you have to? I mean, if you sign the contract, you do what they ask you to do. And yeah, should have some say in it. But at the same time, you've got to realize that the company's got a plan too, and you've got to fit yourself into that.
Well, your problem becomes you're either lost in the shuffle in WWE because it's so big, or if you're not one of Tony Khan's boys, you're lost in AEW.
I think a lot of people have earned their positions too, and you see in AEW they've been pushing a lot of people that some AEW originals. They've been getting on top, and right now you've got the Acclaimed as the tag champs. You've got MJF as the world champion.
But MJF has got a year to go before he's gone.
well, that's a story for another day. But it's very interesting to see how everybody's kind of fitting together and figuring it out. And you look at what Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are doing. They did the tag team, but they're now on their way, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see where those two guys end up.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting goings on there. But I do want to talk about this hire that AEW made. They have a new executive co-producer on AEW by the name of Michael Mansury. Of course, we talked about Rob Fee getting
Mansoor?
hired.
They hired Mansoor?
No, they didn't hire Mansoor.
Sorry, Mansoir?
No. French, even in French, it's still bad. But Mansury, of course, we talk about Rob Fee, who was hired as the long-term creative guy, kind of trying to keep things in line and not forget about storylines. Well, Mansury was kind of the number 2 production guy in WWE. And AEW has stolen him away. Apparently, Mansury wanted to get out of there, mostly because Kevin Dunn was driving him nuts. But people loved this guy. And I got to say, this is going to be another one of those under-the-radar hires that I think is going to make a big difference in the AEW product, as they have apparently already said they're upping their production values coming up. So, a WWE producer coming into AEW, gentlemen, this is a pretty interesting move, wouldn't you say?
I think it all depends on Tony Khan. If Tony Khan acts like Tony Khan, then no, it's not going to mean amount to a hill of beans. If Tony Khan allows him to do what he can do, then then I think it's definitely a shot fired across the bow of WWE.
Brian, what do you think?
Well, you still have to produce the product. Like, you can have great video packages, but if the matches aren't there, if the booking isn't right, it doesn't matter how good it looks. I mean, we saw that with Vince with WWE. They still had the great production, but we were still watching the poor matches, the poor bookings, the firings, like all that was still happening. So it didn't make any difference. I mean, you can put lipstick. I don't. Lipstick on the pig, but not that AEW is a pig, but it doesn't make any difference how much you fluff it up. If inside the product is still not there, then it's not going to make any difference.
Yeah, one thing that I've said is that I've always thought that WWE was a little overproduced and AEW was a little underproduced. You had the better wrestling matches in AEW, but you kind of had more of the better, say, entertainment type stuff in WWE. I think this is intriguing to see if maybe this Mansury gentleman can kind of pull those together. I wish you could get the best of both and have a new company, Well,
do you guys think he should just hire a booker? I mean, do you think he's at all Tony Khan is at all willing to have a separate booker to?
No, I think Tony Khan is the Jerry Jones of wrestling.
Right. He's like his play game.
It's
game
like,
to play with.
And this is mine. Just like Jerry Jones will never hire a general manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tony Khan's like, this is mine, and I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. I don't care what anybody else says.
I've been a fan long enough, so I know how to book a wrestling
exactly.
company. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he'll listen to Omega and the Young Bucks to a certain extent, but I think in the end, and the final say is, nope, I'm Tony Khan, and it's my thing, and if you don't like it, there's the door.
Well, sounds like Vince McMahon to me too. So they both have their egos. That is for sure. All right. So hey, we're going to head to another break here shortly, but I do want to remind everybody real quick. If you get a bad birthday present, maybe something blows up on your,
good Lord.
in your living room and sets the tree on fire, you might need an attorney. You might. And the person to call, of course, is Russell Dutch Boyd at VegasCouncil.com. Of course, the 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. And I can say a good friend of mine who has given me very good legal advice, handles business law, intellectual property, personal injury, and crypto law in case you got nailed in that FTX thing. You might want to give Dutch a call. Of course, he can handle anything you want. If there's something that's out of his area of expertise, he'll steer you in the right direction. So you get a free consultation. Just mention the Mark Hoke Show. Go to VegasCouncil.com. That's COUNSEL.com. And say hi to Russell Boyd and let him help you out with any legal issues you might have. He's a good dude. Right, Fish?
Sure.
Well, thank you. There you go.
He's no Chris.
Obviously.
He's no Chris Jesus Ferguson, but,
Wow. You don't want to get it. You do not want to start that fight. Trust me, you do not want to start that fight. Oh, boy. All right. Well, we're going to take a break on this Christmas edition of the Mark Hoke Show. We want to thank you for being with us today, and more to come as we talk more WWE and AEW. And, of course, then second hour, Joe DeFalco is going to join us.
Yay!
And we're going to kind of go over the year in wrestling and who was the wrestler of the year? What was the best
Sami
match?
Zayn.
And all those questions will be answered definitively.
I just answered it.
On the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around. We'll be right back. Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-3038 or visit UniqueEatsLV.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today.
101.5 FM KDWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back on the Mark Hoke Show.
We're doing the hokey pokey.
No.
Hokey, turn yourself around.
Oh, that's so
you know
funny.
What? That's what it's all about.
I've never heard that before.
I figured as much.
Wow, how did you guys possibly?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Amazing. I mean, God, what a couple of dullards you two are.
Because he can't turn himself around.
I'm sitting in a spinning chair. I can turn myself around if I want to.
What it's all about.
But when you turn yourself around like that, it becomes an orbit.
An orbit. An orbit. I can't wait till this show's over.
This is your idea, Mark.
No.
This was your idea.
No,
this Christmas
actually.
thing was your idea.
Actually, it was two people's idea who couldn't decide when we were going to record, so here we are.
I didn't want to record. Oh. I wanted to do the show live.
I got a kid sitting outside here.
Yep.
In the studio on Christmas
Day. Is the kid going to let Vandergriff in?
You know, I hope someday he just...
I told you I'm going to
I hope he takes an eyeball and shoves it up your nostril. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
I'll give him the fish hook. He'll tap out. It's over.
On KDWN, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, Talk of Las Vegas. Very happy to have you with us. Merry Christmas, everybody. And, of course, celebrating Hanukkah as well.
Kwanzaa's tomorrow.
Whatever holidays you're celebrating, you know what? If you're celebrating National Goat Day, go for it. Have a great day. But I do have to remind everybody, too, what I need you to do is go to markhokeshow.com and click on the betonline.ag banner. There's a lot of football games going on that you can bet on, and you can bet on wrestling on this site. Believe it or not, yes, you can bet on wrestling.
Are there any Royal Rumble odds out yet?
The Rumble odds are not posted at the moment. They were up there for a while. They have been replaced by something we will talk about later. But I'm going to get into that. But you can bet on just about everything you want on this site. Lacrosse, table tennis, winter sports, cricket, whatever you feel like. And here's the best part. I could hand you up to $500 right now. Right now. Because all you got to do is click on that banner and then put in the bonus code that's on there. And you can get a matching bonus of 50% up to $1,000.
And you got another reason to hate the French because they could have gotten you another $200 last week and they lost.
Yeah, the doof croissant eaters. But
exactly.
But once again, go to markhokeshow.com. You'll see the betonline.ag banners on the front page and the sponsor page. You get a 50% bonus up to $1,000. So that means you put in $1,000, you get $500. That's pretty awesome. So, and that's how we get rewarded for that. So if you would please go to our website, we would certainly appreciate it. So just like throw that out there. By the way, interesting week in AEW. And I got to say, the best fireball I may have ever seen. And I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of this, but there was actually a great fireball thrown by Chris Jericho. And sometimes those fireballs don't go real well.
Yeah, no, wasn't it Alexa Bliss that threw a bad one?
Yeah, that was. I still haven't figured out what that was. That was more like a slingshot kind of thing. I don't know. But our Mr. Action Andretti, who upset Chris Jericho last week, was doing an interview, and he got flambéed. There is a very good picture of him.
He's like Cherry's Jubilee now. That's his new wrestling name.
Literally with a small tower of flame ejecting from his face. I mean, that was a great shot by
Courtesy
Jericho.
of Le Champion.
Yeah, and of course that's done with flash paper, by the way. They don't actually, get out a flamethrower or something. But
that we're aware of.
Yeah, but nice job by Chris Jericho. Pretty good week on for Dynamite and Rampage too. But Dynamite, a great main event with Jamie Hayter and Hikaru Shida. Crowd was going nuts. And that's one thing I love about AEW. The crowds really get into these shows. But
that's what happens when you pay your people to sit there.
Oh my God! Oh, WWE has never, ever, ever given away.
I wasn't making the comparison.
I don't know if AEW's done that or not. To be honest,
it's all of Tony Khan's family.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, because there's never been thousands of paid shills.
Nope,
getting free tickets to go to WWE events. No,
I'm anti AEW. You know that.
Oh God. I would bet you would lose on that fight.
Oh,
Mr.
absolutely.
Fish.
100%.
Andrew Fish Fain in there.
100%.
And of course, see, this is why I like having Brian here from LasVegasWrestlingScene.com, because he's actually sane.
Well, a second ago he was a dullard, so
right.
Well, don't mix your metaphors there, my friend.
Well, you can be sane and be a dullard, but you guys, come on, you guys hit me with the hokey pokey stuff on Christmas. On Christmas, really? Yeah, that's right.
It makes my last name. Trust me, there's plenty. There's a specific one I get, and I've gotten it since I was in kindergarten. And when people say to me, and they think they're so funny about when they come up with the name, I'm just like, I don't even respond to it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm never first time. Good job.
Yeah, it's Ronovich, and I'm guessing what we got Fetch and what else we got,
because it's when people pronounce it Ronovich. It's
gotcha.
So when you're a kid, they think it's super
it's so
funny.
Yeah,
but
I get
what's worse is when you have like 35, 40-year-olds that make the joke and think it's really funny. It's like, yeah, buddy, it's the first time I've heard it.
Yeah,
good job.
Or 50-year-olds, doing that on Christmas Day. But anyway,
just go ahead and put your right foot in and start this thing around.
You got to be kidding me. I just and right now, unfortunately, I'm not actually in the main booth with these two bozos.
I thought we were dullards.
Yeah.
Well, now you're bozos too. You're bozo dullards. But God, I wish I was.
And Brian's the sane bozo.
Yeah, the sane one.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah, but we got a pretty good show coming up for AEW for their New Year's Bash coming up too.
What's the main event or the big drawing point?
Well, we got Samoa Joe and Wardlow.
That's going to be great.
That's going to be fun.
I love Samoa Joe, and he's another guy that I lament the WWE letting go of.
Do you think it was that he just couldn't stay healthy?
Yeah, I think they gave up on him.
I do, but they did it too soon. He is just so phenomenal. Even when he was, he was for like 3 weeks. He was a Raw announcer. Maybe it was a little bit longer, but he was even phenomenal in that role.
Oh man, he was a great commentator. Totally agree.
Yeah. Oh, well, we babbled enough about other stuff, and we really have to go to our second hour. Sorry about that, guys. But
Joe.
Yeah, we'll finish up the talk on the AEW New Year's Bash, and Joe DeFalco is going to be joining us, and we're going to talk about the year in wrestling and what happened, who had the best years, and what's to come. So stick around for more here on the Mark Hoke Show. We certainly do appreciate you giving us your time here on Christmas Day. And we'll be back for a second hour in just a little bit. Be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.